These are the frequently asked questions for Algebra 2 for Section 1-5, Day 1. Starting with number 23, what we need to do is distribute this -2 to both terms. So -2w minus 8 plus 9 is less than -11. And then on the left-hand side of this inequality, what we need to do is combine these two like terms. So -8 plus 9 is 1. Then we need to start moving things over so we can get the w all by itself. We're going to subtract 1 from both sides, so -2w is less than -12. And then we have to divide by -2. And what we have to remember when we multiply or divide by a negative is that we have to flip the sign. And now I'm going to graph this one, but any other problems that I'm going to do today, I'm not going to graph. And that's because I don't think that the problems lie with your ability to graph. You know, most students that are taking this course have a pretty good handle on graphing. But this one does not have an equals bar, and that means we don't want to include the 6, which means it needs to be an open dot. And then we need to shade to the numbers that are going to be greater than 6, which means to the right, and make sure that you put an arrow on there because this does continue on forever. The next one I have on the list is in the 70s, and that would be number 73. So number 73, we would distribute the 1/3. 1/3 times b is 1/3 b. 1/3 times 12 is 4. Then distribute the -1/4, so -1/4 b minus 3, distributing that negative. And now we need a common denominator for our two like terms, which are the b terms. So we're going to have to multiply this one by 4 on the top and the bottom, and this one by 3 on the top and the bottom. So we will have 4/12 b plus 4 minus 3/12 b minus 3. And we can go ahead and put our like terms together. 4/12 b minus 3/12 b will be 1/12 b, and then plus 4 and minus 3 will be plus 1. And that is simplified. Number 74. This has decimals, and usually that will cause people some trouble. But you take 0.4 times k and you get 0.4k. And then we take 0.4 times 0.1 and we get -0.04 plus 0.5 times 3.3 is 1.65. And then 0.5 times -k will be minus 0.5k. Now let's put our like terms together. If you had 40 cents k and you subtract 50 cents k, you're going to have a -10 cents k. Oops, I put my decimal in the wrong spot there. -10 cents k. And then we need to put those two like terms together because they're both constants. So -0.04 plus 1.65 is 1.61. And there is our answer in simplified form. So with those, we weren't solving. What we were doing is combining like terms, but we had to distribute first before we could do that. Then, next one on the list is 75. 75, we have 7x, and then we have to distribute that -6. -6 times 11 is -66. -6 times -2x is plus 12x equals 10. Then we have to combine like terms. 7x plus 12x is 19x minus 66 equals 10. Add 66 to both sides. 19x equals 76. Divide both sides by 19, and x equals 4 for problem number 75. Then number 77. I'm going to rewrite this problem over here so I have a little workspace. Now, most people would rather not work with fractions. So what you can do with any equation, if you don't want to work with fractions, is just multiply everything, every term in the equation by the least common denominator. And the least common denominator for these fractions is 10. So what we'll do is we'll multiply each of these 4 terms by 10. That keeps it equivalent because that follows the rules, the properties that we have for algebra. So 10 times 4 is 40y. 1/10 times 10 will be a -1. And then we'll have 30y. And here you can do a little reducing with the 5 and the 10, and you'll have 4 times 2, which is 8. And now we would go ahead and move over the smaller of the two variables, and that would be subtracting the 30y. And we have 10y minus 1 equals 8. We would add 1 to both sides, and that will give us 10y equals 9. And then divide by 10. Sorry, I don't want to skip any steps here. Get some more space. And y equals 9/10. And again, I know the instructions up here said that we should probably check our answers, or maybe in this case they didn't. Yes, they did. Said check your answers. But I'm just going to go ahead and fix this math for you. And once you have that, you can go back and you can check your answers just by substitution. And then lovely number 78 here. We have 0.4x plus 1.18, and then we have to distribute this -3.1. That will give us -6.2 plus, because a negative times a negative is a plus. And multiplying times 1/100th means we're just going to move the decimal place over 2 places. So 0.031x. Now we would subtract that 0.031x from both sides. And that is to get the x's on one side, and that will give us 0.369x plus 1.18 equals -6.2. Then we subtract the -1.18, or actually we subtract the positive because it's plus 1.18. Subtract 1.18 from both sides. 0.369x equals -7.38. And then we divide by 0.369. And x comes out to a very nice answer of -20 on that one. And that will do it for this video.